How are you doing?
Living the dream, man.
Yeah, amazing. So please tell us your feedback, but what you just have seen. This is history.
I love working for Databricks. This place is amazing. I didn't know half of the things that just happened, but it's just masterful strokes. So let's just recap the events, right? Let's recap it for everybody. What's happened over the past 2 weeks? Well, let's go back. The story goes back a little further. You know, when I first joined Databricks, like almost 6 years ago now, I think like 5.5 years ago. Do you know what my first event was? My first community event I did was the Data Mastery Tour with Databricks and Snowflake. Back then we were partners, and I'll never forget. My manager at the time told me, "This is the last one of these we do." And I was like, "Why?" I was so confused. I'm like, "What's wrong? You know, Snowflake's a good data warehouse. Databricks does like everything else." You know, he's like, "Well, look at Delta. If you could put a data warehouse in a data lake, why would you pay Snowflake millions of dollars, right?"
That makes sense.
Kind of makes sense. So I think like it's been a long journey to get here, and you could tell that Snowflake has been getting pissed about us, you know, trying to cut them out. About 3 years, I joined Databricks, and we started kind of going in on each other's turf, right?
Yeah.
About 3.5, 4 years ago, Databricks launched our data warehouse, right? And people think like Databricks does everything. You got to add, like, how complicated is it to add a data warehouse, right? And it's like we just heard from DuckDB. You know what DuckDB is?
Yeah.
Y'all heard of DuckDB? It's basically all of data warehousing, all of the academic knowledge of data warehousing put into a 2 megabyte file, right? All of data warehousing is a solved problem. We know everything about it. Even DuckDB is a data warehouse in a box in a 2 megabyte file. It's not hard. Databricks did it. We make an amazing AI warehouse. And now Snowflake is pissed. So they've been kind of like messing with us. Last year, their summit was the same week as us, but in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
This year, they
San
were
Francisco.
like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make it the week before Databricks. And they, if you ask me, maybe they were trying to, I don't know, get the jump on what we were announcing. So what did they do?
Polaris.
Polaris.
In 90
days.
days.
In 90 days. In 90 days. Not today, but in 90 days, Polaris would be. Did they announce open source, or is it just they're gonna announce it?
I can see they can open source in 90 days.
Okay. So what happened just now on stage?
Amazing.
It was amazing. Matei announced that we're open sourcing it, not in 90 days, but just then on stage.
On the stage.
He clicked the button.
And the repo is live.
And the repo is live. You can go there right now. Completely open source.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait. It's amazing. It's not just in there. What's the biggest thing that we hear from customers right now? Like, besides the catalog, we solved the catalog.
Yeah.
We solved the data layer with Delta. And even the format war is over.
Yeah.
Databricks acquired Tabular. It's going to be a long road to unification, but we're going to unify these data. So we got the data set, we got the governance. Now the governance is open. But this AI, it needs to understand what's going on, right?
Indeed.
And a lot of times the business, they speak a different language, right? They speak a different vernacular. What do we call this? Right now, it's all the rage, semantic layer or metrics layer, right?
Yeah, UnityCatalog metrics.
Right.
Can bring metrics from DBT, from at scale. Amazing.
It's absolutely. So now UnityCatalog is going to have a metric store. It's going to come later this year. But you can choose. Do you like at scale?
I love them.
They're great. It's a great UI. I think they've made great moves in making it their free edition. Now they have
developer
SaaS.
edition, I think.
Yeah, the developer edition. Yeah. But have you heard of Cube?
Yeah, I interviewed them yesterday, and they're part of Databricks Inventors now, if I'm not wrong.
Dude, I just saw that we invested in them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I talked to, as I do everything now, I asked Perplexity, what's Cube? And of course, it didn't give me the right answer. I meant like Cube, the people that do the semantic layer. And I figured out who they were, and I actually went to go talk to them too. And I figured out it does a lot more than Cube. They actually solve a lot of problems that we have with Databricks. They have a GraphQL layer that interprets GraphQL on our behalf and then gives us SQL queries. They also do the semantic layer. What I really like about Cube is that their translator translates. It's one unified translator, translates between MDX and SQL.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that. Yeah.
For Tableau and Power BI and Excel. And it all speaks the same language, right? And then they have a REST API wrapper. Like we have an execution API, but it doesn't have a wrapper around it. They have that too. So whether you like DBT's new metrics layer, Cube's amazing support, or AtScale's awesome UI, this is what people were using to build cubes for the past 10 years, right? So however you want to build your tube, if it's the DBT way, the Cube way, or the AtScale way, Databricks is going to support the metric storage.
And Cube has also an open source version in case you want to try it.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to come up to speed on Cube. I think I've been spending too much time with DBT and AtScale. I think I need to go talk to them. And SQL Mesh. Have you ever heard of SQL Mesh?
No.
See, this is what I'm talking about. SQL Mesh is like all the rage, and no one's ever heard of it. I think we need to talk more with SQL Mesh and Cube just to kind of figure out what's going on. But lots of exciting news today. I mean, it's still happening. We walked out.
Delta 4.0.
Delta 4.0 Shant, amazing features in there. It's just, it doesn't stop.
Uniform.
I was just thinking, I was walking out before I ran into you. I was like, this is too much. We announced way too much. Do you think this is too much?
And I need I think 3 months to walk through all the latest features, try them, play with them, understand how they work, deep dive on them, and maybe I can be ready by September, maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure.
we got to figure out how to wrap this up. I wonder. We gave all the attendees. Did you know that everybody got the ability to get a test drive on Databricks?
Yeah, and that's amazing.
So if you wanted to try, all the attendees here got to try out a new test drive. Have you ever heard? Have you know what that is?
Yeah. So you have $100 credit, where you have all the serverless offering. I think you have SQL Warehouse and some GenAI features. And you can get started quickly. You don't need to set up anything. Like the storage is there, the compute is there. Just operate, create it, and you're good to go.
I call it super simple Databricks. Yeah. Right? No more deployment. Hey, do you know what my #1 complaint was when I joined Databricks all a long time ago? You can actually go back and look up my 15.5s. Deployments. Deployments are horrible. That's why they hired us field engineers, was to help customers stitch all this together. Now that Databricks is super simple, I'm kind of worried about my job, to be honest. What are they going to need me for if it's just so super simple, right?
Assistant, GenAI.
If you can just use natural language, and you could start up Databricks with just your email address, and there's no cloud configurations to mess with, there's no buckets to configure, and it's just there. And you could just start asking for what you want. Semantically, it understands the semantics. That's pretty simple. I'm gonna have to find something else to be useful about.
Thanks, mate.